Some of the old-time snarers said that Tasmanian tigers would follow them through the bush.
One followed me for a week.
How did you know that?
Tracked him in the snow. Anyway, I climbed up a little side of Gummill and I'll get up here, I'll wait for a while. Then anyway, I got that bloody cold, I'll bugger him. I had a tiger. I'm getting down out of here. First time I heard it, I said to him, I said, what the bloody hell's that? Well, he said, that's a tiger.
You coming up the bush this winter with me?
Yeah.
For a week with Nanny?
Basil's other life is much the same as anyone else's. Since giving up the horse team, he spends half of his year at home with the family, his children and grandchildren. When he's not in the bush, he works on a farm and lives in the house he built with the help of his wife, Margaret. Their modest lifestyle depends largely on the income from Bazil's one-man industry.
6 weeks up at the Paddocks, and I'll come back to Bazil then. I'll probably have about 6 weeks up there.
Tomorrow he'll be gone again for another season in his winter home and the life he'd like to share one day with his son, Philip.
Do you ever go up with him? I used to a lot, but I haven't done it recently. I've been carried away with work and that like.
Do you ever think you'd like to take up travelling like your dad?
Not full time. It'd just get to me. Not now, but mainly.
What work do you do now?
Working in the bush, logging.
The sort of work your dad used to do with horses?
Yeah.
How you do it with a tractor?
Yeah, we're more advanced than what he is.
I'll put my old horses against the old tractors.
Where's your old horse now?
No.
It's not a
Where I'll soon be, I suppose, under the dirt.
Do you worry about him when he's away, Margaret? When the weather's bad and that sort of thing?
Oh, yes. Been on his own.
What do you think could happen?
Well, anything could have.
I've always told them not to, if the weather was bad and there was any danger at all, not to never ever come near because, well, they might run into trouble, whereas there's no need to worry about me, I'd be right.
You don't run into trouble?
No, I'm always prepared for that. I've got it there. I've got my tucker and that there. I could stop there snowed in for a month and I'd be right.
Each year, when he heads into the highlands, his friends mount an expedition to see Bazil and his food and supplies safely into his winter retreat. They'll travel in with him, unload, and come straight out, leaving Bazil and his dog Ben to sit it out alone for the winter. The further they strike into the highlands, the more isolated Bazil becomes from the trappings of modern society, following the icy Mersey River to its headwaters, to a special place Bazil calls the Paddocks. His friends will be the last people he'll see, apart from occasional bushwalkers, until they return with the horses to get him again when the season is over. Till then, home will be a tiny pine hut nestled among mountains which are part of another world. Alone in his winter home, Bazil goes straight to work. His job is to trap the game coming down from the mountains to feed on lush pasture that for the rest of the year is cattle country.
Here you come in here. You run your snare out to a nice, really nice loop. That's your edge stickies, about 8.5 to 9 inches long. You have those. Loop that on there. Pull that along there tight. Pull your loop back to there. And he fits in there like that. Yep. This fella's your springer. He's the one that does all the work. This knot, no matter how icy or cold your hands are, you can always get it undone. Just with the end of your finger like that, it'll come undone real easy. Or whatever comes along here, he goes through, and as soon as he touches that, he's up and caught a bit of the neck. He's hung there then. I'll set him again, and I could have one hung up in him tomorrow when I come along.
The practice of snaring wild animals for their fur has often been an emotional and controversial issue. To Bazil Stears, it's a business, but to many people it's unacceptable. The snaring of possums has been banned by the Tasmanian government, and while it is still legal for a licensed trapper to snare wallabies, it's a subject that often comes under scrutiny.
A few years back they banned snaring altogether. That was through conservation. I reckon it was cruel. There's a right way and a wrong way of setting snares. Perhaps, I'm not saying there was, but perhaps what they see, it mightn't have been right. If they're set properly and that, well, there's no quicker death than that as I know. It's not cruel. All the people that have cattle and that in the mountains, they've got to keep the game down to a certain thing, or they'd eat them out. And if it's not snared, they've got a poison. And, well, they'll tell you, as I'm going to tell you, that poison is a lot crueler than what snares are. Next snares, it's only a matter of seconds and it's dead. But with poison, well, it's a lingering death, and not only that, you poison all other wild animals, and that's what's in the bush as well. I've got 3 or 4 runs I go to. I spend a certain time in each run, and I get between 400 and 500 off each run. That keeps them in control. It doesn't skin me up or anything. Well, that's the last thing we want. We don't want that to happen. But we've got to keep them down so we can run cattle.
Bazil's argument that snaring is good for the country is shared by the graziers who run cattle here. But the main attraction for Bazil is the land itself. The country he loves is seen by few people. Perhaps its remoteness is what really attracts him.
My father, he was a great old hunter and bushman. Practically when I was big enough to follow him around, I started trailing around behind him, and he'd set the traps for me, and I could get the stuff out of the trap, rabbits and that like. But I wasn't strong enough to set the trap, but I started off from there, and I kept following him around till I picked it up off of him. You never ever think of loneliness and that like. You got the birds and the wallaby and all that, you know, to talk to. And you come home and you're away all day, and you come home and time you get your meal, it's time to go and peg your skins out. And, well, that could go through till midnight. Well, it's time to go to bed then. No, too busy to get lonely. And you have a bit of a sleep and you're up and going again the next morning. Hey, 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 come on. Hey. Hey, come on. Hey, come on, fella. Hey, come on. Come on. Come on, old man. Come on. Come on, old man. Hey. Come on.
What are you doing there, Basil?
I'm going to make some patties. You like wallaby patties?
I haven't tasted any yet, but looks like I might get a chance.
Yeah, that's all you'll get up here. You'll eat them or go hungry. Ah, they're good tugger.
Basil, what else do you eat apart from wallaby meat? Any other meat at all?
Wallaby and wallaby again, and then the next time around you have wallaby again. But different ways. All different. You can cook it all different ways. I never ever get sick of wallaby, and when I go home, we always have some home in the freezer and that, and when I go home after I've been home about a month, I get real wallaby hungry, and the wife's got to cook up a couple of feeds of patties first to satisfy my appetite again.
Why is that, do you think? Isn't anything else as good as wallaby?
Oh, I don't reckon there is. Aye. You'll probably say that when you have a feed of these too. I've had a lot of people come to the huts and that, and they'll, you know, they're perhaps some of the walking clubs or something, and you live on wallaby all the time, they'll say, and they'll sort of turn their nose up and that. And I say, yeah, would you like a patty? I've got some there. I might just try one, and they'll have one. Oh, gee, they're beautiful, they say, ain't they? Well, how do you make them? And, oh, I say, it's just cooked in the camp oven. What does it? I got it, you're all right?
Yeah, we didn't know whether to come or not. The weather wasn't too good. Put you waiting on us.
You've been rough.
Oh, yeah, I'll say. Looking
up
forward
ready?
to get home, I suppose.
Got plenty of time already.
Oh, not bad, not bad. I'm looking forward to get home.
Just getting out in time, I think, Basil. Yeah. Anything could happen now. Come on.
You couldn't make that struck by dark, could you?
Oh, yes, I think so.
Yeah, close in a bit.
Yeah. Hey. There's not many left now. Not many of those snares left at all.